And I call the member for Higgins.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer update the House about the historic levels of support the Morrison government is providing to help workers stay connected to their employers and to assist families as we make our way back to economic recovery?
The Treasurer.
Well, thank you very much, Mr Speaker. And I thank the member for Higgins for her question and acknowledge her experience as a professor of paediatrics and 28 years at the Royal Children's Hospital. Mr Speaker, now, COVID-19 is a 1 in 100-year event, Mr Speaker, and its economic impact is devastating. The OECD are estimating that the global economy will contract by about 6% this year in comparison to the GFC, which saw the global economy contract by just 0.1%. And we know from the June quarter GDP figures in other countries they've seen substantial falls, more than 20% in the United Kingdom, around 14% in France and around 10% in the United States as well as in Germany. Yet here in Australia, Mr Speaker, we've maintained our AAA credit rating, and that of the 1.3 million Australians who either lost their job or saw their hours reduced to zero since the start of the crisis, more than half of them are back in work, Mr Speaker, and around 700,000. Now, approaching this crisis from a position of economic strength has allowed us to announce and to commit to $314 billion worth of support. Mr Speaker, $314 billion worth of support, nearly 16% of GDP. And according to Treasury, that support has helped save 700,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate would have been around 5% higher than it is today if it were not for our government's economic support. So JobKeeper, already $42 billion has gone to Australian workers. The cash flow boost, more than $23 billion has gone to Australian workers, more than $9 billion with the $750 payments and more than $9 billion for the coronavirus supplement. Right around our great country there are great stories about what JobKeeper is doing to support businesses and families, Mr Speaker. Like a great story from the member for Higgins' own electorate about a group called Very Special Kids, a children's hospice providing vital counselling and clinical support. The CEO wrote to the member for Higgins, and that organisation has been supported well by the member for Higgins and her predecessor, Kelly O'Dwyer. And this is what the CEO said: "If not for JobKeeper, our position in sustaining essential services would have been significantly reduced. JobKeeper has enabled us to keep the engagement of our highly experienced and trained nurses, personal care workers, social workers and bereavement counsellors who provide essential care to some of the most vulnerable families across Victoria, with 80 of their staff on JobKeeper." Mr Speaker, JobKeeper is doing a remarkable job.